Hello and welcome to the United Stand. Jose Mourinho out and all that jazz. But to be honest with you, I think we're beyond that now. I think we're really beyond that. To me, watching the game yesterday, you know, as the great Shaggy once said, seeing is believing, so you better grab your specs. And I saw stuff yesterday that I'm just absolutely appalled about. I mean, to me, you can be Mourinho out because he's archaic. You can be Mourinho out because he's finished. It's the football. For everybody who was at Old Trafford sat around me yesterday, the thing they were talking about is the standard of football. Mourinho comes out with his nonsense excuses about his players lacking fight, etc. Blah, blah, blah. Deflective tactics. Get your shield up and try and, deal with it. The reality is you pick the team, Jose. This has got to end. At what point does our board realise that that standard of football for Manchester United is nothing short of abhorrent? It is embarrassing. This is Crystal Palace, and with all due respect to Crystal Palace, Manchester United should be beating them with blindfolds on yesterday. You have got players who are not playing for the manager 100%, but we can't do that anymore. This is year 3. You can't say it's the players, because we're not about to sell 15 players and spend $1 billion on another 15 players that Mourinho will probably ruin because he's not good enough. And that's the thing. Even if you do blame the players, and I've heard people blaming the players, it's not economically viable and it's too much of a risk to do anything about it. Maybe it is the players. Sell 15 players, you got to buy 15 players. That's over £1 billion. And what if, like I say, Mourinho's finished anyway? The person you've got to get rid of is the manager. He has got to go. There is nowhere else to move with this. I'm not somebody who likes to say, I told you so. I've heard Mourinho inners for the last few weeks saying, get behind the club, get behind Mourinho. I don't take great satisfaction, and I know you don't as well, in saying the man is finished. I heard somebody contacting me today. Oh, so people on Twitter know more than a man that's won 2 Champions Leagues and 8 titles. Sir Alex Ferguson's won Champions Leagues and titles. Bill Shankly, ex-Liverpool manager, and he's now dead. He's won titles. Sir Matt Busby as well. That's what Mourinho is. As a football manager, he's got a great history, but he's not got a presence, and people need to move past that. There is no barrel left. It's been rinsed dry. There's nothing to scrape. It's like a peanut butter jar that's been absolutely, you think you can get more out of it, but you can't, because we've power blasted it. There's nothing in there. There's nothing to scrape out of the Mourinho managerial career. He is finished at Manchester United. And I want to highlight this with 2 massive things from yesterday's game that just absolutely sit this down. I mean, Mourinho can talk about lack of effort. I want to talk about that. But he did 2 things yesterday that were 3 things. Well, he did loads of things, but 2 things that are just, they're basic management tactics that he absolutely destroyed, right? This man here, Matteo Darmian. Why was he picked? Valencia is fit. Dalot is fit, right? Why was he picked anyway? Because Mourinho's doing his usual thing. We're Mourinho United, not Manchester United. He's putting Mourinho ahead of Manchester United because he's fallen out with Valencia and he doesn't like youth. 2 things that actually, let's just pick the players to win the fucking game. Darmian as a right wing back, or effectively he was a right winger yesterday, which is what I'm going to come forward for. Valencia is better than Darmian. Dalot is better than Darmian. He plays Darmian because he's fell out with Valencia and he doesn't want to play youth. That is why we're Mourinho United and not Manchester United. Darmian yesterday spent most of his time in this area. Most of his time there. He's crap as a right winger. He's a half decent defensive right back. He's Italian. The hint is there. He's an Italian defender, and we're using him as a right winger. The amount of times yesterday after we took Pogba off, because Young was the same. He was there, right? You get Fellaini or Matic, pick it up here or here. Crystal Palace were leaving both Darmian and Young with acres of space. And in the first half, Pogba would ping it because he can do that. In the second half, they left them. And there was a pass there all day to give them acres of space, but Fellaini and Matic can't switch that ball. So we became redundant in that effect. Which brings me nicely onto Matic, the biggest fucking waste of space in a United shirt for the last 8 months. And I excuse my language, but this is important. This is now important. I've been saying this all international break, and even I didn't expect we would draw against Palace. I thought we were going to win. I thought it's an absolutely nailed-on result. All due respect to Palace, but United should be winning that game. Palace are playing Man City in a couple of weeks at the Etihad. It'll be a cricket score, but we should be winning that game. But what I did say over the international break is I won't be kidded by the results over the next few weeks because they're teams we should be beating. we're not even beating those teams. It's even worse than I thought it was. We can't even beat Palace at home. But what I did say, the expectations are on the bloody floor. There are fans still walking out of the ground yesterday who were just like, oh, hopefully next week we'll sort it out. We're Manchester United. We're the biggest club in the world. We've got massive resources. We've got great players. We should be far, far better than this. Do not accept it. At what point are the board sacking this manager? He has got to go. It's not even speculation now. Anybody who's Mourinho in, you don't exist. You're redundant. You've got no argument. There is nothing. I've been searching my head all morning and all evening trying to think, how can somebody be Mourinho in now, other than deluded looking at his Wikipedia page? The football is terrible. It's terrible. You see things when you go to a game that you don't see on telly. The last one I went to was Wolves, which was 6-7 weeks ago. We're worse than the Wolves game. We've actually got worse over the last 7 weeks. We are shocking. But the Matic position yesterday, right? We're trying to win a game of football against Crystal Palace in the last 20 minutes. He's basically on a job share scheme with Victor Lindelof. He may as well jump on Lindelof's back, Matic, because that's all he was doing. We're trying to win a game. He's coming here to get the ball off Lindelof. And then when he gets him, he's going sideways, sideways, backwards, backwards. He's like he's trying to build a crappy table for wallpapering. I don't know what he's doing, but he's absolutely rubbish. People were just running off him. I mean, we're trying to win a game against Crystal Palace. We're playing a back four and a CDM. And they actually went to one up front for the last 10 minutes. Mourinho can talk about lack of drive, lack of desire. But I tell you where it stops and ends with me. It stops and ends with the football. It stops and ends with the football, doesn't it? That's where it is. It's gone. Madeline. Sorry, my daughter's just letting my son in here and I don't want him to hear this language. Close that door, thanks. Cheers. You're watching The Grinch? They're watching The Grinch. It's good being a kid, isn't it? You're protected from all this crap that we have at Manchester United. But it really, we played very, very defensive again as well. And the substitutions, you know what? Ray Carl Brown Amori says, look, Pochettino was not back in the summer. Levy did not buy one player, but yet Spurs win easy. Please, there's no problem with the board. If Spurs can be top four without our signings, Jose out. Look, Ray, it's a very good contribution and it's a very, very good point. And he is absolutely spot on. At what point are we... The board is a separate problem for Manchester United. The board are not why we're 7th in the league. And we could, we're hoping Bournemouth beat Arsenal today. So, no, we're not. We're hoping Arsenal beat Bournemouth today because we want to say, well, we're 8th if we don't. But the reality is, Arsenal are irrelevant anyway. We're 7 points off 4th place. We're 7 points off 4th place. Arsenal are irrelevant. They will be ahead of us, but they're irrelevant. We're 7 points off 4th place, and our goal difference is something like 14 goals worse off than the worst team in the top 4. We're absolutely terrible. The results reflect who we are, but they're not a recent phenomenon. Last season, losing at home to West Brom, losing to Huddersfield, losing to Newcastle. The season before, drawing games at home to Burnley. We're crap. And it's consistent crap. And it's not going to get any better. And I don't understand why they're sticking with this manager. Martial yesterday was terrible. Absolutely terrible. But so was Pogba. Lukaku is a waste of time. He's not even a professional footballer, let's be honest. I still think he can score 30 goals for United, but he is a terrible, terrible footballer. With him and Matic yesterday, we were playing with 9 men. They were that bad. But this is Mourinho. He wants to deflect it. He wants to try and say, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. People aren't trying. Well, if they're not trying, but it's because they don't like you, Jose. You're on massive money. You're on massive money. You cannot come out in public and say, the players aren't trying for me. Because all that means to the clever person is, you're a shit manager. Because if you're the manager and they're not playing for you, whose fault is it? It's the manager. How can people not realise this? How can he come out and publicly say, players aren't giving me enough? You're the manager. There's nowhere else to go. There is no one else to go. You must be going crazy in that Lowry hotel room because you are exposing yourself as totally inept. You're inept. If you're saying the players aren't trying for you, it's because they don't like you. You're the problem, not them. Why can't people see this? And you're the one who picks Darmian at right back when you've got better attacking options. If we're at Man City, Darmian, defensive right back, maybe. We're at home to Crystal Palace. He spends most of his time as a right winger. He is crap as an attacking right back. You had Valencia, and more preferably, why not just play Dalot? He can whip a cross in, and he had so much space yesterday if he played there. Matic, a CDM, magnetic, to the centre circle at home. Crap. Lukaku, absolutely opposite of a magnet. Everything that, they really need to give shields out at Old Trafford when Lukaku's playing up front, because his first touch was going to take somebody's eye out. It is deadly. It bounces all over the place. Pogba and Martial, to be honest with you, I don't think they really care anymore. I don't think they care about Mourinho. I think they're fed up. First half, I was sat very, very close to the touchline. Martial, I was watching his body language and watching it. And you know what? I think he was like, I think a lot of Martial yesterday missed Luke Shaw. And I think a lot of Martial was, why am I playing with this absolute joke, Ashley Young? Because Ashley Young has actually got a good cross on him, but he's allergic to putting a cross in. The amount of times he has an opportunity to whip a cross in, he takes another touch or he tries to do another crap bit of skill and loses the ball and loses the opportunity. How he's captaining Manchester United, how we're giving him another contract. He would do well to get in Southampton's team, Ashley Young. He is that average. The team is rubbish. Lindelof was man of the match for me yesterday. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. But we need to move away from this, the players aren't trying. Because if the players aren't trying, it's because of the manager. But it's not the players who pick the team. Fred, £50 million, didn't come on yesterday. In fact, I really want to show you this. This is how we lined up in the second half. 20 minutes to go, and this is what he does. He takes off. Where are my players here? So we've got Pogba coming off, and we've got Lingard coming off, and obviously we've got Sanchez on. We got Fellaini came on, didn't he? Where are you? Unfortunately, you did come on, and Mata came off, and Rashford came on. So that's basically what we did in the second half with about 25 minutes to go. He took Jesse Lingard off. I'm not Jesse Lingard's biggest fan. I think he's best off the bench. But yesterday he was probably our best player. He was absolutely... And the only reason he was our best player is because he worked hard. He gave the ball away a bit, but he worked hard. He probably should have had a yellow card, but there was a lot of effort from him. He takes him off. He takes Pogba off. We've still got the crap Matic on the pitch. Sanchez comes on. Fellaini basically goes up front to help Lukaku. Rashford goes on the right. Martial stayed on. I was quite surprised. And then Palace just stopped us putting crosses in and we became even worse. I thought we were worse in the last 20 minutes than we were before the substitutions. And again, that's not about effort. That's about Mourinho. And I'll keep saying this. Where's Fred? Where's Pereira? Where's Eric Bailly? Where's Dalot? Where are these players that will make us... Where's Herrera? Players that are actually better than the shit that is on the pitch. And the tactics, I started with this and I'll say it again. There is nowhere to hide. The fucking tactics and the way we play at Old Trafford is a disgrace. It's absolutely a disgrace. And they can throw as much smoke and mirrors as they like. But if you were at the ground yesterday or you were watching it, you will know. It is boredom. There is a singing section in the bottom corner that are there to sing, and they are great. The Stretford end sing, but they react to United's on the pitch, quite rightly. Why should you fake it? There wasn't much noise yesterday because it was a shit performance, and it was terrible tactics. Too many touches on the ball, too slow. When Palace had the ball, we let them have it. These are fundamental things that come from the manager, and I tell you what, I don't know what's going to happen with United now. I thought, let's not forget what we were talking about in the preview. We've got 8 games out of the next 9 we should win. I don't think we're going to beat Liverpool at Anfield. I thought we could beat Arsenal. We haven't even beaten Palace in the first game, which is probably the easiest game. I thought Fulham, Huddersfield, maybe they're easier, but actually, I'm not so sure. Fulham look a bit better under Ranieri and Huddersfield are hard to break down. So, the easiest game, and the game you should win because it's the first one, we draw against Crystal Palace, and actually, we could have lost it. We totally didn't deserve to win it. So, we're not going to be top 4 by Christmas like Mourinho. Why don't they sack him? He said on Friday we're going to be top 4 by Christmas. Ed, we're not going to be top 4 by Christmas. Sack him now. Just get rid of him. Because the sooner we start again, the better it will be. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy for the next manager. I'm absolutely living in a real world at United now. I don't know who the next manager's going to be. It could be, there could be some miracle. We might get Pep. Never going to happen. Zidane, Jardim, Blanc, Pochettino, whoever it is, you won't hear from my mouth, we're going to win the league in the first 2 years. No. This is going to take a lot of work. But it's only getting worse under Jose Mourinho. Yes, we're going to win games. We might beat Southampton next week. But what you know with United is, you might win a couple of games, but you'll be back here and it'll be worse than ever. And this is the thing. It is absolutely obvious that he's got to go. He needs to go. He's out of touch. He's not a Manchester United manager. He is totally out of touch. He's got no idea what to do. You've got half an hour, well, a whole game yesterday, half an hour to go and get a goal. One goal would have won it. I don't think Palace could have scored. Andros Townsend had the best chance of the game. He missed it. They weren't going to score. We needed one goal at Old Trafford, and all he could do in the last 20 minutes was try and work crosses into the box. Lofted crosses into the box, trying to flick off somebody's head. There was no creativity. There was no flair. There's no speed of movement. I do worry about the players. I saw something in Martial yesterday that concerned me. But then I thought, actually, I just think he's disillusioned with this manager. I think Pogba's the same. I think they get the ball. Nobody's making the movement. Lingard and Matic were shouting at each other in the first 20 minutes. You got Lukaku shouting at people, and people are just, you can tell from the body language, they're like, who are you? Have you watched yourself practicing shots? You're hitting the bloody stand. You know, who are you to tell us what to do about runs? You're shit, mate. You shouldn't even be in the team. Matic, I'm sure most of the squad are like, what's the bloody point when you've got Matic playing week in, week out? He should have been dropped weeks ago and gets picked because Mourinho lives up his arse. It is the facts. It's the facts. The one positive of this season at the moment is that Lindelof is getting good, but he looks like he's injured now. We're just absolutely shocking, and it's so... I want to keep the momentum going because I look around Old Trafford yesterday. I was stood doing the fan cams talking to people. I look at your comments and people are just tired of it. They're tired of it. They're accepting it and they're tired of it. And this is what we can't happen. We've got to fight for our club. We've got to get it back. That is not Manchester United. 75,000 people there yesterday. Bored to tears. Bored to tears. And you know these people out there, and I know these people out there because the people are messaging me saying, you've got to stick with Mourinho. We'll grind our way through this. The players have got to do better. Who are you? Who are you? What's your expertise in football? And I flip that back on me because obviously what's my expertise? There's no opinion better than anybody else's. But when facts are staring you in the face, you've got to say that anybody who's Mourinho in has got no legs to stand on. They're like a daddy long legs with 8 removals. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. Has daddy long legs get 8 legs or 6? Arachnoid or insect, I don't know. But they've had them all removed. Torturous, horrible, just like United's football. There's no leg to stand on. There is nothing. And this is what I said at the start as well. If I found something in there, like I was sat last week thinking we're going to win 8 of the next 9 league games. Can you be Mourinho out still? And I was going to be because I was like, well, actually, regardless of how bad the manager is, we are still Manchester United. We are still the biggest club in the world, and we should be winning a lot of those games without a manager. I said this after the Palace game yesterday. We should have beat them yesterday without Mourinho. I think we probably would have done. I think Mourinho costs us results because his style of football and his team selections costs us results. I think if you sent that 11 players out yesterday to play their own way, they'd win because they wouldn't be restricted by whatever chaos he's inflicting on them. But I looked, we're not even doing that. We're not even doing that. And I think we're not even doing what as a Mourinho outer, I expected us to win yesterday, but we're not even doing that. I should be sat here feeling justified and smug, going, I knew it. But I thought we'd win yesterday. So it's not even as bad. It's worse than I thought it was. We are worse than I thought we were. But there is nothing. There is nothing. Those players are never going to like Mourinho. They're never going to like his style of play. So you're going to spend £1 billion to bring in a whole new team for him to play that shit. Because that's what it's all about. The football is terrible, and that comes from the manager. I'm bored to death with his little digs at youth on Friday, his little digs at effort yesterday, his self-preservation society. That's Jose Mourinho. He's the head man of that society. He absolutely loves himself. But it has to stay on the front page. He is the problem. Yes, the board are a problem. Yes, there's problems with that club from top to bottom. We've been saying it for a long time. But we were 7th in the league because we play crap football. We play crap football because we've got a crap manager who is not a Manchester United manager. He doesn't even try to play good football. He wants to grind out results. And I think that's what he expected to do. I think that's what he wants to do over the next few weeks. Let's just get the points on the board. Let's spend a bit of money in January. I tell you what, if the board give him money in January, if he's still even here in January, it's bad enough. If they give him money in January, we are dead. We're a dead club walking because he should not get another penny. As somebody said, Pochettino, no money in the summer. He fuses youth with an attacking style of play. They're not going to win the league, but I'd have that every day of the week because they're going places. They're exciting to watch. And I don't mind. I hate being in Man City's shadow, but if we're playing good football and we're progressing, then you can start to sort of see a future. You can be optimistic. There is no optimism under the United fan base at the moment. We are hurtling towards Mourinho being fired. We just don't know when it's going to happen. You know, it's like we're locked in a car and it's just the brakes are gone, the steering wheel's locked, and at some point it's all going to go up in flames, and we don't know when. We don't know when, but it's absolutely inevitable. He cannot turn this around because he doesn't want to turn it around because he's not actually an attacking coach. I don't think there are many people Mourinho in anymore. I think there are people who are just trying to do it because they're like, oh, I want to be a like merchant. I want to be, you know, maybe I want to get something from the club. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the angle is. You know, journalists obviously want access to his interviews. I don't know. But there is nothing. There is absolutely nothing. He plays rubbish football. He's fell out with half the squad. He's lost most of the fan base. He's not a Manchester United manager. He speaks bullshit in most press conferences now to protect himself. But most of those things don't matter. The most important thing is the football is absolutely terrible. He picks that team yesterday. And as I said, there were three things. Him. Don't know why he got picked. He's rubbish. He was dropped before the international break. Why is he back in the team? Why is Sanchez and Rashford on the bench? They're playing well for us. Why are they on the bench? And why is that clown up front who's crap? Why was he back? Nobody's spoken about that. Why was Lukaku even playing yesterday? He's been rubbish for weeks. I don't think he's scored a goal at Old Trafford since March or something. I don't even know. He's rubbish. He's absolutely rubbish. Why was he back in the team yesterday? That Mourinho should be absolutely castigated for that. Why did Lukaku start yesterday? He was dropped before the international break because he was crap, but he starts yesterday. Rashford or Sanchez should have started up front. We would have won that game. Darmian, not his fault. Why is he playing as a right winger when you've got Valencia, Dalot? Or I tell you what, novel idea, why not even play a right winger? And then Matic, the most uninformed player in the squad at the moment, playing 90 minutes. You know, I wouldn't have took Pogba off. I know Pogba was a bit hit and miss yesterday. Lingard's substitution was a joke. So he can, like I said, he can talk about players not giving effort or anything like that. He's picking the team, he's picking the tactics, and that is why United fans are bored of him. It's nothing to do with him being ex-Chelsea. It's nothing to do with the nonsense he talks. It's the football he produces. It is absolutely sickening. And we as a club are a joke. We're an absolute joke. I had Crystal Palace fans outside Old Trafford yesterday trying to goad me. And I was like laughing at them. And they had to walk away. They literally walked away with their tails between their legs because they were going to, where's your 2-0 prediction now, Goldbridge? Sit down, have that. Don't you be telling us you're going to beat us again. And I just laughed at them and went, look, if you're trying to wind me up to start arguing back, I ain't got anything. We are shit. We are an embarrassment. I'm not going anywhere. I support this club. I love this club. But we are an embarrassment. I don't get sucked in by City, Liverpool fans or anything having a go at us because I know we're crap. I haven't got anything to come back with. What could I come back with yesterday? Victor Lindelof was playing with an injury in the last 10 minutes. Way! I've seen it on Twitter. People are retweeting out that. My warrior, this, that and the other. Yeah, you know what? Victor Lindelof, well done yesterday. You played when you're injured. But is that all we've got? A centre-back playing through injury for the last 5 minutes. We're going to hang our hat on that. That's what we've become. No leaders as well. No leaders. Ashley Young, he couldn't lead a pack of ants to a picnic. He's rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. There's no leaders on the pitch. Everyone's got their head down. Everyone's fed up with the tactics. He's got to go. When are they going to do it? Why is it not even happened now? When are they going to do it? Yeah, you know, I'm sure they're sat in the boardroom going, if we can just make it to January. He will be here till January. Oh, we'll beat Young Boys. We might beat Young Boys 4-0. Everything's great again. Southampton next week, if they haven't sacked Mark Hughes, he's got to win. We win that, we're back again. Arsenal at home the next day. I tell you what, if we play like we did last night, we'll get beat by Arsenal. We'll get beat by Fulham. You know, anybody who actually has a go, Palace must be kicking themselves. They should have won that game. Luke Skywalker says Mourinho is a genius. He goes from club to club and destroys their identity while picking up huge paychecks and doing nothing. He should be a contender to win the Smartness Award. I think there's an element of truth in that. But I think Mourinho used to be a good manager. I think now he's absolutely terrible. Tom Hazelwood, Jose's still here because of Gary Neville's comments. Absolutely joke. He's clueless. I like him, but he can't keep being Jose in. Well, thanks for that contribution, Tom. And a very interesting point, actually. I'd never thought about that. Look, absolutely love I mean, I was at Hotel Football on Friday night for the Manchester Munich Foundation and Memorial Foundation, and there was a few ex-players there I spoke to off the record. Some of them in the media, and in the media, they will never say what they said on Friday night. I'm not going to give you their names. I'm not going to tell you what they said, but they're not happy. They're not happy. Now, Gary Neville wasn't there. I would love to speak to Gary Neville because he is somebody who I believe kept Jose Mourinho in a job that Friday night before the Newcastle game when he went on Sky and said the club's a joke, they should be sticking by Mourinho. I personally think, and it's a good thing, that Gary Neville is so respected. I think Gary Neville probably kept Mourinho in a job. He's wrong. He's wrong. In my opinion, he's wrong. I would love to speak to Gary Neville about why he backs Jose Mourinho, because as much as respect I've got for him and he's a United great, I would sit there, like many of you would sit there and say, I totally disagree, Gary. I'm sorry. I think you're a great United legend, but you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. At what juncture is this the right man for Manchester United? Other than, I think Gary Neville wants stability at the club. He doesn't want us to be a sacking club. He's old school. But this is if it's the wrong manager, you sack that manager. I know it's not nice. No, it isn't nice to sack somebody, but you sack that manager. Like Paul Scholes wants him gone. I mean, that's the other side of the coin. Should we really get bothered about what Gary Neville thinks? Because Paul Scholes, it's obvious, thinks Mourinho should go. They're best, they're good mates. They're both United legends. It's different opinions. But I think the Mourinho in thing, it's redundant. It's redundant. There is nothing. I would argue it with anybody. You've got nothing. You've got absolutely nothing. He will be sacked. And until he's sacked, we're going nowhere. We're Manchester United and it's November the 25th and we're not getting in the top four. The title has been gone for weeks, but we already know in November the 25th we're not getting in the top four. It's never been that bad. It was not this bad under Moyes. It was not this bad under Van Gaal. And the reason it wasn't this bad under Moyes is because that was season 1 and you were like, maybe he can turn this around. This is season 3. Season 3 under a manager and you're the worst you've been for years. He's got to go. He's not even got the protection of year 1. He's had £400 million nearly. It's year 3 and we're worse than we've ever been since Sir Alex Ferguson left. This is worse than Van Gaal now. This is worse than Moyes now. He's got to go. He's absolutely got to go. But this is where the board come in. The manager should be sacked. He's got to go. This is where the board come in. It's not their fault where we are in the league, other than they should have sacked him. It's on the board now. They've got to remove this manager. He's got to go. But Woodward's like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Because they'll think a draw. Oh, a soccer draw. At least we get a point, man. We got a point. You know what? And you know what? If Fellaini hadn't cut his hair, I think one of those goals might have gone off his Brillo pad and skidded in the goal. So, it's not a loss. It's a draw. It's a point. It's a point. And that's what they'll look at it. I said that me and Ross were sat next to each other and we were like, Ross said, do you think he'll get sacked? I went, no. A draw's not going to be enough to get him sacked. A draw's just going to be enough to irritate the fan base. And the style of football is killing us. But that won't be enough to get him the sack. He needs to lose a game. If we lose to Southampton, maybe. But I think we'll beat Southampton. And I know I always get it wrong. Remember, smash a like on the video. Let's get 1,000 likes while we're here. I mean, I'm sure most of you agree with what I'm saying. If you do, smash a like on the video. I'd love to get over 1,000 likes on it because I think I think there's a lot of important things in that video because I know a lot of you wouldn't have seen the game yesterday because it was a 3 o'clock kickoff. It's not on the UK, and I know streams and stuff that you might watch aren't that great. Being actually at that game yesterday, there was no positive. There's no positive. My man of the match was the linesman because I actually felt that goal that Palace scored was very, very, very... I think he got it just about right, but on another day, I think that would have gone in and we would have lost. And Andros Townsend as well. Thanks to him. Demoy Vernon says he picks Lukaku and Fellaini because he knows they're not good enough and he's trying to get sacked in the most imperceptible way possible. If that's true, Denny, I actually do not want to believe that. I do not want that to be the truth. If he is trying, thanks for the contribution, Brad Day. If he is trying to get the sack, that is the worst thing ever. Lucas says, how much longer will he stay? And top 4, no chance. I think he will be here till January, which makes me feel physically sick. And I think we will not be getting top 4. We won't be getting top 4. I spoke to you in the week. I said if we won 8 of the next 9, I thought we'd be about a point off 4th. We've already lost 2 of those points. And I think the Spurs result yesterday surprised me. I thought that would be a draw. So Spurs haven't actually dropped 2 points. They've gained points. We're 7 points, I think, off Chelsea now, who have got a good run of games. So we're not going to be top 4 by Christmas. So Mourinho should go for that. But we're not going to be top 4, because if you're not top 4 by Christmas, everyone's played everybody. So where's the excuses? And I think we'll drop more points. I do. I think the players aren't playing. The reality is, Mourinho comes out and says the players aren't playing for me. Bye-bye. Off you go. If they're not playing for you, you're the manager. And the most important thing, Jose, as I said, football, terrible. Selections, terrible. Tactics, terrible. All on him. We've got Ross. John Dales is right. Darmian was okay yesterday, but he's not a right winger. He never should have been picked. This is the delusionment in the fan base. Oh, Darmian did a good job yesterday. He's a defensive right back playing as a right winger. If he played okay there, imagine what would have happened if we played somebody who can play that position, who can put a cross in, on the manager. Drop a like on the video. Thanks everyone for watching. Tonight at 8 o'clock is going to be a very interesting show. We've got Sophie and we've got Flex. And of course, tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, we've got the Discord show where we'll be taking your calls as well. Lots planned over the next few days. I just wanted to put something up for you to watch during the day. And 8 o'clock tonight, Sunday Night Live with Flex and Sophie, who were both at the game as well. So it's an interesting thing. Thanks for watching. Get your comments in below. Most important of all, please do get your comments in below about how you're feeling. I really just want to capture a lot of how a lot of you are feeling at the moment. And please take the time just to put a paragraph or a sentence as to how you're feeling and what you think is going to happen. Thanks for watching. Speak to you all soon.